As you can see here, these are the presidential candidates from the Democrats and the Republican side. Currently, only Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are currently running, and on the Republican side, Ted Cruz, John Kasich, and Donald Trump are currently running as well. According to the PEW Research Center, only 61% of Americans know the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. My major is political science, so I'm currently studying about politics, party differences, and how parties actually work, so I should be knowledgeable on this topic. As we all know, the 2016 presidential election is currently upon us. New York just had its primary April 19th, and we voted for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. As first-time voters for most of us, we should know the difference between political parties and about politics, because our vote can make a difference. Today I will inform the class on 3 key differences in policies between the Democrats and the Republicans. The first issue is immigration. The second issue is national security, and the third issue is healthcare. The first issue is immigration. Immigration has been a topic for the United States since the start of this country in 1776 because the country was formed on immigrants. Most current immigrants come from either Latin America or Eastern Asia and usually settle in larger states such as California, Texas, and New York. Legal immigrants get their visa cards or green cards to stay here, whether it be to work or for education, while illegals sneak in without any documentation and aren't taxed legally. Based on a CNN.com report written by Aaron McPike, a CNN correspondent, on August 24, 2015, about 900,000 immigrants are let into this country yearly, while currently there are 11.4 illegal immigrants here. The Democrats support immigration. They fully welcome it, but only legal ones. They also support the DREAM Act, passed by Obama, which allows illegals to be legalized here in this country. The Republicans, on the other hand, support immigration but want to limit it. They want to evict illegal immigrants and make sure they don't get the same amount of rights as citizens do in this country if they're allowed to stay here. The second issue is national security. The topic of national security became relevant since 9/11. National security is to protect the nation from attacks by foreign influences by maintaining armed forces and privacy. The Homeland Security branch was enacted, and the NSA was more supported by the government. The U.S. last year spent $636 billion on national defense, according to the Homeland Security Appendix in the 2015 OMB budget. The Democrats support taking care of the troops, more importantly, before, during, and after their service. And they prefer the peaceful route and prefer to stay out of war. The Republicans, on the other hand, prefer to use force. And they support funding for the military and artillery, and support national missile defense system. They focus more on artillery, not on the troops. The third issue is healthcare. This is currently highly debated in the United States and in the current campaign. The United States is one of the only developed countries not to have a universal healthcare system. It is privatized by either companies, out-of-pockets, Obamacare, or insurances provided by jobs. And it's very expensive. The Affordable Care Act, passed in 2010, was a first step towards universal health care. Gardner Harris says that the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, has reached 20 million people, almost 1/10 of the United States population, in his article published by the New York Times, called Affordable Care Act Reaches 20 Million. The Democrats want universal health care for all. They support the ACA and Medicare/Medicaid, and they want to make it cheaper for healthcare and focus more on the unwealthy and more for old people as well. The Republicans highly disagree. They oppose the Affordable Care Act, and they think that should be privatized, and they'll think it will ruin the economy and raise taxes hugely. They want to privatize Medicare and Medicaid and push it out of the federal budget to save money. In conclusion, I talked about 3 key issues between the Democrats and the Republicans: immigration, national security, and healthcare. Now that you know this, you should go out and vote and inform yourselves more on the differences between the two parties. Thank you. I'm Nick Paliophilos.